degrees, a master's degree, a single mother taking care of her parents. She left a full-time job and started her own company and is so passionate. I mean, I think you're absolutely going to love this conversation. So Olga, why don't you start by introducing us?
Hi guys, I'm Olga Milman and you're tuned in to the Animal Innovation Show.
Excellent introduction, Olga. So tell us who you are and how you're innovating and helping animals.
So I'm the co-founder and CEO of Vivus Pets. And what we do at Vivus Pets, we create healthy, nutritious, delicious pet food and supplements without hurting other animals or the environment.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, you downplay it, but I mean, you're making pet food that's vegan, plant-based pet food, and fully sustainable. I mean, tell people more about this. I mean, this is something that's truly revolutionary.
Absolutely. When we create our foods, we make sure that we use the most recent research, scientific research, actually peer-reviewed scientific research. So we've got Dr. Sarah Dodd, who is the board-certified veterinary nutritionist, and there's only 5 of them in Canada. She's one of them. So she is doing all the formulations. When we formulate our food, we make sure that we use only plant-based materials. We do upcycling of certain ingredients like carrot pomace from the juicing industry. And not just the very little about it, but just the fact that the food is vegan and it's entirely plant-based without utilizing any animal protein. It's helping the environment incredibly, because right now, based on recent information that we have, is that quarter of the global meat supply actually goes into pet food. And it's not just the leftovers from the meat industry. It's no longer the case, because right now we all want the best food for our animals. We all want human-grade ingredients. We all want the best nutrients. We don't want some scraps. So what happens is that a quarter of global meat goes into pet food. And as you can understand, is that means that meat doesn't go into feeding humans. And that takes a lot of our planet by growing livestock, and this is greenhouse gas emissions. So as you can see, the paw print of our beloved pets could be a little high.
Yeah. Now, I got to ask you though, Olga, I mean, some people are going to be like, wait a minute, dogs and cats they're supposed to eat meat, right? Aren't they supposed to? Is this actually healthy for them?
They are indeed, well, cats are indeed obligatory carnivores. Dogs are omnivores, which means that they could eat mostly the same food that we consume. But the most important thing is not how we define them as carnivores, omnivores, or whatever that is, any ovores. To me, the most important thing is that, are they getting the right nutrients? Are those nutrients bioavailable to them? And this is what we do. We do a lot of research on bioavailability, digestibility of plant-based proteins, making sure that all the amino acids are in there present and actually are digestible by the dogs. Dr. Sarah Dodd did her PhD on digestibility of proteins and amino acids from plant-based ingredients. So really, to me, it doesn't matter whether they're supposed to be eating this, and that. What does matter is that they're happy, they like the food, and that they get the nutrients that they need. In fact, there's more recent studies in the past 1 to 2 years that demonstrate that actually plant-based food doesn't come with all the carcinogens that come with the animal-based diet. So although this is still early stages and we are going to be doing our own research on that as well. But the hypothesis is that potentially we may see dogs thrive, and not only thrive, but live longer on plant-based diets, just because those carcinogens would not come to their natural or normal food.
Yeah, kind of the same thing that, for us humans, right? When you start really diving into a plant-based diet and understanding at the molecular level, like you're talking about, it's much healthier for the way that we process foods. And as long as we're getting the right balance of proteins and other things, it's the right way to go for longevity.
Absolutely agree.
So take us back. I mean, you were already in the pet food manufacturing industry, right? You were operations. What prompted you to say, you know what, I need to stop this and I need to go do my own thing? Like, take us back to that point when you were making that decision.
Yeah, so actually I did become vegan for multiple reasons. Um, uh, First of all, it was the animal welfare. I love animals too much. And to say that I love animals, but I still eat them, it was a little bit contradictory to me.
Right.
So I decided to not consume any more animal food because of ethical reasons. And then I also, because I'm very passionate about nutrition, I've been in the food industry, actually human food industry, for 7 years. And I've been in pharmaceutical industry for 13 years prior to that. And that's where I realized that if we have the right nutrition and the lifestyle, we
Yeah.
may not need all the drugs that we currently consume. And that's how I transitioned from pharma to food, because I wanted to create better food for humans so that we don't have to have all the drugs. And that's how I started looking into my own health and try to help people. But then at one point, especially when I got my new puppy, I was thinking, what am I feeding my puppy?
Yeah.
Because my adult dog, there are some foods on the market that are plant-based that I was feeding my older dog. But when it's a puppy and it's a large breed, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I need so much calcium and I need protein for growth. Can I really trust the vegan diet that is currently on the market? And I started researching that. And what I found was mind blowing from Dr. Sarah's research, where she tested 10 different diets on the market, commercial diets, and 9 of them did not meet the requirements of AFCON. Then I
Wow.
realized, oh, now I see why people wouldn't feed vegan diets to their pets, because you just can't trust. So at that point, I was thinking, well, what am I doing? And I've reached out to Sarah Dodd and I've asked her, how do I feed my dog? And of course, she came up with a lot of recommendations. And then started asking other people, and they had the same issue where 26% of vegan pet parents do not, or sorry, only 26% of vegan pet parents feed vegan diets. The rest of them do not. 96% of these people want to feed vegan diets because of their own ethical
Nice. Yeah.
reasons. But they can't because they don't have enough information and they don't have the trust. So then I was thinking, okay, well, if that's such a big problem, we need to solve that. And then I decided that, if I'm going to leave it to someone else to solve, everybody is going to leave it to someone else to solve. So
Right.
I just decided that it has to be, I have to take the steps, and that's how Vivus came alive.
I mean, I think this is awesome. I mean, the fact that you are taking the initiative, and like you said, when you leave it to somebody else, right, it may never get done. Tell people the meaning behind the term Vivus.
So Vivus means alive in Latin. And the reason why we came up with that name is that we wanted our pets to be alive. we wanted to give them a longer life. I personally love my dogs as my family. My daughter says it's my brother. It's a family member. I want them to stay with me for a long time. So I want them to live longer. And this is why I decided that Vivus is the best name because it's pets alive.
Yeah, I love that. I love the meaning behind that. That really brings significance to this. And you know what I find really fascinating, Olga, is that if you were just focused on plant-based food, I mean, that alone is truly innovative and mind-blowing. But that wasn't enough for you. You decided, I need to make this a fully sustainable supply chain. Tell people more.
Yeah, so we do want to make sure that we're not just saying that we're vegan, and then we use ingredients that, we ship all the way from the other side of the globe, or we use ingredients that are really um, not as good for the environment or require a lot of processing or require a lot of energy or water consumption, like, the protein concentrates.
Sure.
They're plant-based, but they do require a lot of processing and a lot of water in that processing. So, a lot of people say, well, it's plant-based, but it's not as much, sorry, it's not as good as you claim it to be because you use all of these ingredients that require so much processing and actually are not contributing to the environment. So we wanted to take that back and really ensure that we use uh, the best ingredients, but at the same time, we use only sustainable. So we source ingredients as much as possible in North America. There's still a few ingredients that we do bring from other parts of the world just because we don't have them in North America. There are smaller portions of ingredients, though, and very low inclusion rates. Most of the ingredients are North American. Not only that, we don't use any concentrates because, as I mentioned, those require a lot of processing and water in that processing. So we formulate with what we have here and what's mainly wholesome.
Yeah. Tell people, I mean, what are some of the components that go into the food? I know you partner with a juice company, for example.
Yes, so we do use cured pomace, and we try to use other pomaces. So right now we have more projects on the go where we're trying to use even like the kombucha SCOBY, just to make sure that it doesn't go into the waste because it is a probiotic. So we want to try to use that in our product. So we use carrot pomaces from the juicing industry. When we got the juice, all that pulp that's left, it's still perfectly good a product. Ingredients, they contain so much antioxidants in it. It contains so much fiber. So why throwing that away? We just use that in our treats.
I think that's awesome. I mean, because as you said, I mean, there's all sorts of fruits and vegetables, and people make vegetable juice and carrot juice, and I mean, even just orange juice, right? And what happens to all that other stuff? In the past, it would just get thrown into landfills or thrown away. And so you're working with them to say, no, look, we'll buy that from you and we'll make it an ingredient into our stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the juicing company, they had to pay for their waste to dispose that. So
Well,
instead, we're taking that waste and using that.
yeah. So you're saving them money. They must love you. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, a lot of people I talk to start on only dog food, but that wasn't enough for you. You made sure that you wanted to focus on dog and cat food at the same time.
Yes, so we do have some projects on the go where we are formulating food for cats. I do have to say that it is a little bit more complicated with cats because of their specific need for texture. So dogs, they are more about the aroma.
Hmm.
Cats are more about the texture of the food, and they're a little bit more picky. So when we design our food, we want to make sure that it's not just nutritious and healthy for them, but that they enjoy it. because we don't want to take off that experience. So we put a lot of emphasis on the flavor, on the taste, on the texture. So we have quite a few projects on the go with cats. We are also supported by the Canadian government with grants to develop some of these products.
That's really cool. I mean, as a dad of 5 cats, 100% agree with you, right? They're all very unique and picky about what they like, and they just what they'll eat. It can't be sometimes big chunks of chicken one of them won't eat and the other is like, yeah, I'll just break it down and eat it. So they're very picky and particular about what they actually want to eat. So that's really good that you're focused on that. So what else can you tell us about Vivus and core components of what your company is about?
Yeah, so at Vivus, for us, it really is about the animals, all the animals. Really, my vision with Vivus is that I wanted to accelerate the transition to a world where every life matters, not just a specific life where it's a dog or a cat, and
Sure.
then other animals are not. And I think that honestly, with pets, it's a lot more easier because we don't, if the pet likes the food, they absolutely enjoy it, and it's nutritious and bioavailable for them, why not feeding them vegan diet or plant-based diet that is much better for the environment and actually saves other animals' lives? Why discriminating between loving one animal and eating the other one? So I think that with animals, it's going to be a lot more easier to transition because as humans, we enjoy certain things. It's difficult
Right.
for us to say no to certain things. I understand that. I am myself, I've been there, and I still to tell you that I don't like the taste of meat or the fish, that's not true. I
Right.
just consciously decided not to. But obviously I enjoy the flavor. So I think that with animals, the transition is going to be a lot easier when they are truly enjoying their food. But at the same time, we can actually feel good about the fact that we're also saving the environment and other animals.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you, I was going to say vegan chocolate cake does not taste like, other chocolate cake. So I'm with you. There's certain things where you just kind of go, all right, fine, I'm going to eat the regular chocolate cake. So,
Yeah.
Olga, I mean, maybe somebody's listening. Where do you begin, right? If I wanted to transition my cats into a vegan-based diet, should I be talking to my veterinarian? I mean, what do I do?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Veterinarians, no, veterinarians do not get education about nutrition. Not even one course in the veterinary school contains anything about veterinary nutrition for pets. So, honestly, uh, if there is disposable income, I would go to a veterinary nutritionist to formulate a proper diet. But um, I can say that with smaller companies, startups coming to market, I do trust, like Wilders, for example, or um, there's a couple other companies in UK. I do trust that they are doing the best to formulate a complete and balanced diet. So I honestly, I wouldn't do home-based diet because it's very difficult to make sure that it's complete and balanced. I would go and buy commercial food that I trust. Companies that put a lot of effort into formulating that hire veterinary nutritionists to balance the diet. Companies that do research like Vivus Pets. We do a lot of research that is funded by the government uh, to ensure that it's digestible, that it's bioavailable for them. So yes, I would start with commercial diets, do your research, make sure that you can trust the company that makes the food, but I would not go to a veterinarian.
Yeah, no, and that makes total sense, right? I mean, it's kind of like going to a general practitioner's doctor and expect that they know everything, right? They only know as much as they've been educated or done research and things on their own. So what's next for Vivus? I mean, you've been out for a little over a year, and what's the future look like?
Yeah, so this year we're starting to focus a lot on distribution in North America, so Canada and the US. We want to make sure that it is available for people. We want to bring out the word for people so they're actually aware that there is Vivus that's providing pet treats and supplements and food. We have a lot of other projects that we're working on. Basically, I see the company as offering every single food, treat, supplement, topping, whatever there is for pets. In the future, I would like Vivus to offer all of that to pets in plant-based version.
I love
So
that.
yeah, we have a lot of research happening. We currently collaborate with a couple universities on research on cancer. Like I mentioned, we do want to, as a hypothesis, we want to test to see what would be the carcinogenic load switching from meat-based diet to plant-based diet, and if it changes, we want to make sure or to test how it actually impacts the inflammatory factors in the body. But we want to do a lot of research, of course, as much as possible, because as a startup company, we have a certain budget to do all of that. But as we grow and as our sales grow, we want to invest that money back into research that will be available for the public.
Very cool. I love the transparency. I love the fact that you are focused on very much data driven. And as you just said, sharing that back with the public and letting them understand the same things that you're finding. So good for you on that. Olga, I mean, it's been quite a journey for you since you left that full-time job and started Vivus. What have you learned about yourself in the process?
Yeah, quite a few things. I've learned that my passion for nutrition, for animals, for well-being, for just, overall harmony between humans, planet, animals has been tremendous. I didn't even realize how this passion can drive me because having a startup company, when you have a 8-year-old daughter and a single mom, and like you mentioned, I've got a few dependents where I help my parents and 2 dogs and a huge mortgage with the increasing rates.
Right.
It's a lot to take on, but the passion is driving me, and I'm finding such an empowerment in that passion that none of that I care about. It doesn't matter. High mortgage, well, I'm gonna sell the house. It doesn't matter. If I need to go and live in a shelter with my daughter, that's fine. I can do that. I couldn't believe that I could do that before. Going from a director of operation in a public company with 4 facilities, managing 270 people, having a very high pay, going into a shelter, a woman's shelter. It's a mind-blowing transition, but you know what? I don't care. As long as I can bring that to the world, as long as we can all together make that world better, at least a little bit, it just gives me so much force.
I absolutely love that. I can feel the passion, and I'm so super excited to see where you're going to go with this. So, Olga, why don't you tell people the website, where they can buy the food and treats? How do they give this a shot?
Yeah, so we do have e-commerce, so we sell online. You can go to vivuspets.com. We also have our treat supplements and coming up food that we're hoping to launch in Q2 of this year. So we have them in certain stores, but hopefully we'll be also distributing into some larger chain stores in this year. But right now you can buy it from our website, www.vivuspets.com.
Perfect. Well, we'll make sure to link that and share with people so that they can go check that out and see all the amazing things that you're doing. And, as I wrap up the show, your passion, Olga, is what I always tell my viewers and listeners, right? It starts there. And so maybe somebody's watching or listening and they've got an idea for something that helps animals or the people that love them. We'd love to know about it. Open your browser and go to innovations.show, and we'd love to have you on the show to talk about it. And please don't forget, you can sign up at Dubert.com and join the tens of thousands of Dubertiers across the country and even around the world that are working to save animals. So just go to Dubert.com and it's free to get started. Olga, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for your passion. I'm super excited to see what the future years are going to hold.
Thank you, Chris, so much.